All right, now we can go.
I'm pulling up a fight thing, so let's see.
We live, man. I
undercard.
mean, you going? Are you going? Oh no, you're right. You're not going live yet.
It says recording
Yeah.
on your end, so you're recording. So
Yes.
Yeah, I guess I'll do that again.
It's time for the Fantasy MMA Weekly podcast, brought to you by MMA Torch, your independent source for all things MMA. Now, here are your hosts, MMA Torch's own Sean Covington and Internet Dungeon Master Frankie Swad.
The first one, you got to get that first one down, right?
Yeah. And I can always just make this audio and just put that right over the top and cut out whatever stupid thing I did. Why would this not? I don't need to hear myself if I don't need to hear myself if you're gonna be coming through there.
Right.
It's so stupid. Right. I like that though. I hate wearing headphones. Even though you're over there, if I can hear you, I'm not wearing headphones. If I can hear myself, I'm not wearing headphones. So
right.
My teeth are big.
I got some small ones I got, that are all Bluetooth and stuff, but I just haven't gotten used to them yet. So it's just like I keep going like this, trying to grab my headphones. I ain't got none on. So
I got some $10 headphones, $10. Walmart specials.
Yep. Yeah, I went to Wish and got Bluetooth ones that were $12. So they took a while to get here, because who knows where they make them and stuff. But yeah, they sound okay. They don't have they're not too loud, but for $12.
Yeah, man. Wish has some great stuff. So. I got a hair tie right now. You can't see it. I have to turn around.
Right.
It's not even a hair tie. It's a clip. It was like $3. It's great. Changed my life. Now my hair's not in my way. I'm happier, smiling. Fucking nice. Now, I mean, I still might eat my hair if I'm not careful, but I should be able to flip it behind me and it's all good.
Right.
I got a little chain. I didn't get that from Wish though, in JCPenney, but I'm coming up in the world.
Right.
All right. Let's stop fucking around. Hey, we get to do that when it's our show, okay? We get to curse too. So yeah, this I'm gonna be a little bit more professional when we actually start the show, but this is just kind of to get a feel for things and just to kind of explain things to you guys about what we're gonna be doing and how it works, because it's not easy. Because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Right. But Frankie is gonna take care of all of that.
Well, I will start off with a quick disclaimer that I love having some fun doing things like fantasy MMA drafts before the big cards, like places like DraftKings, and I enjoy sometimes doing things, like sportsbook type stuff like you'd see in Vegas. But I do it. While I do have success with it, I found some things out that I feel work. At the same time, I don't do huge bets because I'm not a gambler. I just enjoy the thrill of winning $5 every so often, to be honest with you.
$5
and sometimes more, but yeah, I mean, this is not like, none of the stuff we talk about today is stuff where you bet the house. Okay. This is about having fun. It's a blast. Last week's card, oh my goodness. I got my son's friend, who's a friend of the family. He came over and we just had a blast, putting down bets right before, like watching the fighters come out. Like sometimes you can really just see the difference in attitude. And a lot of times with that attitude and that swagger, you can go real quick. Let's go down and let's just hit that sucker right there. 'Cause that person looks like they're going to just walk in and take every shot and just take the other person out. And, sometimes you see that, you make that call last minute, and it's a lot of fun when it happens, but oh my gosh, what a great match last week. I mean, that was the perfect example of taking a round and counting your competition, the person that's coming at you, timing them and everything. Just, Derek Lewis knew that when Blaze was going to shoot again, he had that timing down, and that uppercut was there, and it was devastatingly ugly. And then the shots afterwards were just,
he definitely didn't
goodness.
need any shots afterwards.
No, they should have stopped that right. He stopped, his brain stopped everything. He landed like a piece of wood or something, just frozen.
Those two
I'm like,
shots.
stop it, you know.
I mean, I'm glad he's got the two. Well, I'm not glad. If anyone deserves,
you said that.
I did say glad. Fuck him.
I heard you.
You know what? He deserves punishment, but I don't want him to be messed up in the future. I'm an advocate for those who don't know. I'm an advocate for stopping fights when the knockout happens straight up, or when you're dead to rights. That happens a lot before the actual knockout. You know,
right.
Like when Luke Rockhold got knocked out by Yoel Romero, he was about to get hit and knocked out. And I would have stopped the fight right there. And we're like, oh, but he didn't hit him. We knew what was coming. Yeah. He was dead to rights. There needs to be a dead to rights rule. When you know, like, well, maybe not that one, like, but if you saw it coming, which we kind of did, like, you could have called that one and said, "Up, you're gone." You would have suffered a critical malfunction right there. So, catastrophic. Damn, what do they call that on Forest and Fire? Catastrophic failure or something like that. Well, anyway,
right.
Yeah, you know, if you could call that fight right then, you would have called it. You know, but I bet on knockouts, man. I bet on the knockout artists. I don't bet against. I don't bet on wrestling and shit. That's boring as fuck anyway. You betting on wrestling? Get your life together.
Right. Well, you know, my buddy, my son's friend that came over, that's what he did. He's like, I love Derek Lewis. I love Derek Lewis. And I'm like, if you really, really believe it, you know Derek Lewis is going to win by knockout if he wins this fight. I told him that. Yeah. He's like, yeah. I go, then bet the knockout. Just win by knockout, and he did it, and then he was very happy, very happy. It was fun. It was fun times.
Yeah,
and you know, I was going to say, speaking of what you were talking about, you know, I watch a lot of fights out of England and in Europe and stuff, and in Europe and England, especially with boxing, they will definitely stop a fight before the guy gets knocked out and hurt. Like if he's really getting his butt kicked, and there's no chance in hell, and he's just being too tough for his own good, they'll stop the fights early. And they're like, well, you saved that guy's life. You know, you guys saved that guy from injury. So
now I watched some boxing last week, and they did not do that shit.
I didn't say that. But right, that was from America, right? That was America, right?
True,
that was
true,
a fight.
True.
See, yeah, I said it was over there. Yeah, it was across the pond where that happens.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. In other countries, man, yeah, they do things a little bit differently. Some are a little bit too loose, and others are a little bit more strict.
Yeah.
But I definitely saw last week. I saw some motherfuckers get knocked out, and I was like,
yeah.
I was like, you just not gonna stop it? I was like, no, let him get knocked out. Like he knew what he signed up for. He needs to be dead before we could do anything. Like, I'm kidding.
We have kind of a similar thing to look at with tonight's main event on UFC. We have Rosenstruck versus Cyril Gane, and is that how you say his last name? Is that correct?
I don't know. I mean, It's hard.
So it's the number 4 versus the number 7, and Rosenstruck. I mean, I've seen him viciously knock out some people. As well as Gane has. But my question is, Gane is a huge favorite. I mean, he's a huge favorite. I think he might be a bigger favorite than Blades was last week. And
you know, that was another thing about that Blades fight. I was like, why the hell was he such a big favorite? But that was stupid to me. I think people just wanted to make some money. Like, bet on Derek Lewis knocking you the fuck out, and that's it. Like, I mean, you should have made I know you said don't bet the house. You should have bet half the house. Room.
I mean, I never. Yeah, I was very much surprised, but you know, I watched MMA before it was UFC. I used to watch PKA, Karate, Bad Brad Hefton, Dennis Mad Dog Downey, all those guys and stuff, and so I've been watching a long time. So I look for certain things that you know that you just see from a lot of experience, and I really was surprised, and I pay attention sometimes to what Vegas is throwing out as far as odds and stuff, and it's like, damn, okay, I love that. I mean, and that's where DraftKings comes in, because if you mix your knowledge of DraftKings with the knowledge of what they're doing in Vegas and stuff, and the mistakes that Vegas makes sometimes, I mean, you can have a lot of fun, and think you actually know what you're doing.
Yeah,
so it's kind of cool.
I don't typically bet, but I've been right a lot. Right. That's why I don't bet though, because if you started betting,
I know, yeah,
you're gonna do emotional betting,
right?
And no,
of course,
like I say, in MMA, lose your money when you're gonna lose your money, but bet on the knockout artist. Depending, they have to have a particular set, and the other person has to have some things to fall. Like bet against Curtis Blades getting his ass knocked out all day. That's a guy like Derek Lewis is a guy that knocked out. I'm sorry. Derek Lewis is a guy that didn't get knocked out by Ngannou. Stipe is also a guy that didn't get knocked out by him. So those are two guys you want to bet that can knock you out, because they got a chin. Even though I know, Stipe got knocked out by Cormier. It happens. It does happen. Ngannou, he has a chin too, but I bet you can knock him out. He's not invincible. If I put him in there
he beat Lewis twice, right?
No, he lost to Lewis. Ngannou lost to Lewis in a shitty decision because they didn't want to fight. It was weird. They respected each other's powers too much, and they're not very good fighters. They're not very good fighters. Right. So, but Curtis Blades is an idiot. He is. There's no simple way to put it. He's a wrestler, and he's coming in there with his head down against a guy who can knock you out. You're gonna lose. The last time we saw that happen,
Derek Lewis. Derek Lewis was so smart to just be calm and time him, and he did. In that second round, he had his timing down. It was going to be easy once he got that timing down of how he was, reaching in and attempting to grab and take him down. And I guess Blades versus Brock Lesnar might be a fun fight. Both of them trying to take each other down and hurting each other. I just say that because I always have to do a shameless wrestling plug of some sort. Okay.
Well, we like that here at the Torch. We love that. We love the wrestling references always.
Yeah. So speaking of which, not to change the subject, but did you see this morning where I believe it was this morning, Conor McGregor tweeted back to Finn Balor and Triple H?
But I did see a picture of them.
Yeah.
So it was the picture of them where they were just standing there.
Finn Balor put a picture up of he with the little toys, the little WWE miniatures, and they had a Conor McGregor miniature with a belt, and they had a Finn Balor with a belt, and then Triple H in the back with his hands up like, "Hey," with a miniature too, and Conor McGregor turned back and said, flipped back and said, "No more Mr. Nice Guy," and Triple H said, you name the time and place, we'll go, type thing.
Yeah, I like that, man. Conor has to be a little bit. He has to be a little bit careful because there's a lot of things you could do to somebody in a wrestling ring.
Oh yeah, I agree.
And it's like, hey man, you signed up for it. Like I'm not killing you, I'm not breaking your arm, but like at the same time, I can hurt you badly. And people want, oh, he's a trained fighter, and I'm like, how many trained fighters do you think get knocked the fuck out? Especially in sparring and stuff like that. People get knocked the fuck out all the time. As a matter of fact, if you think somebody's fighting on the streets or in the clubs or in the bars, it's a fighter. He's probably getting his ass knocked out. And I'll tell you why. Because everybody else is Derek Lewis. And I'm not saying that Derek Lewis isn't a trained fighter. I'm saying they're looking for that knockout. So a knockout is a very unorthodox thing. Out of all the things you train for, you didn't train on having a hole where somebody can knock you the fuck out. But someone looking for that hole is better trained and better suited to take advantage of it than you. If you're a wrestler, like Ben Askren, like I said with Masvidal and Ben Askren, if you're a wrestler, you're going to get knocked the fuck out if you're not careful, because wrestling, but to get that double leg, you're going to have to put your head in a place. And if somebody knows where to put their knee or fucking fist, you're done.
Right.
I feel like I'm cursing too much. I'm sorry. Fucking fist.
No, we got to just put the little disclaimer on there saying 18 and up, baby. That's it.
They did that shit to me.
Actually, you know what? We're talking about gambling, so it's got to be 21 and over, right?
True. So
explicit
content.
Yep. We're talking about something that's not not for kids.
Yeah,
Right?
they censored me on YouTube. They was like, "Oh, you said." I was like, "I told you it was 18 and up." The fuck? I told you it was mature content. I literally said that, labeled it,
Right.
everything. And you gonna
Right.
act like, "Oh, well, you don't have a strike against you." I'm like, "Fuck you." I know I don't, because I fucking told you, don't let everybody hear what I'm saying, asshole.
Well,
Sorry.
so if you take a look at DraftKings today for the card that's going to go on tonight, the biggest favorite is Ankalev versus Krylov, and then next to that would be Rosenstruck is the big dog, of course, versus Gain. Gosh, I hope I'm saying that name right. It's probably Gane or something like that. I'm going to feel terrible hearing that name correctly stated tonight when I watch the card with my friends.
So how do I get to, first off, how do I get to the DraftKings? So I open up DraftKings, but how do I get to where you're looking at the odds?
Okay, so what you do is you go to DraftKings, you go to lobby, right?
Yes.
And I mean, we could do a free one right now. I mean, there's always free games.
Sure. Let's go ahead and do that. That'll be great for people.
Yeah, we do it together. Yeah. So you go to lobby, and then what I'll do to just make it real simple is, you see on the left side it says entry fee, and just hit free on both sides.
I'm in the app, so
so when you're in the app, you can see. I think you can still filter it by price. And just do lowest to highest, and you'll see zeros.
It says classic or capital mode featured today.
Yep, featured. It's under entry fee. Easier said than done. Let me know when you're there.
So it's 12 fights. Oh, okay. Here's the filter down at the bottom.
Yeah.
And you say
hit that filter and have it do
free,
entry
baby.
fee, lowest to highest.
Why all of that? I must have did something wrong.
And you probably can put the word under search contents if you have that up on your phone app. You could probably just put the word free in there, and those would pop up as well if you can't find them easily. I'm not on my phone. Let me go on my phone app to see if I can.
Are there no free ones? I didn't see a free
There are.
one.
There's 5 free ones right now. I'm looking at it right now.
I see 10-cent ones, and
let me see if I can get in there.
Yeah, that MMA Classic today at 3.
Okay, so you go to MMA. I'm at MMA. And then we go.
I'm gonna get in on some of these 10-cent joints, so I'll tell you that. I bet it's
okay,
25
so
cents, 10 cent, and 10 cent.
You go to today. Let's see. What are we doing? We're doing that. I'm just looking because it does filter differently, so I see why you're not seeing it easily. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, just go to free.
Okay, yeah, sorry. Sort by entry to high to low, entry low to high. There you go.
You want the entry fee to be low.
Yeah. So I just entered that. So I went into sort by and then entry fee low to high because we're not.
Yep.
Okay. So I see MMA free 200 player times 2.
That's what we want to do. Yeah.
Okay. There we go.
Let's do that. Let's just do one of those real quick. That'll help us with what we're doing right now. So let's do. Which one are you doing? Just classic MMA free 200 player?
Yeah, classic. Classic.
Did you do the one times 2 or is it a regular one?
It's the times 2.
You did times 2? Okay, cool.
Yes, times 2. Yeah. Now at the top, you got to stress this. It says cancel fight. Ramazan Kurmagomedov and Alex Oliveira aren't fighting. That's a canceled fight. Right. So those aren't people. Oh, that's one of 3 canceled fights. Then Alonzo Menefield.
Correct.
William Knight, and then Angela Hill, Ashley Yoder.
Yeah, that's too bad. That was one of my favorite looking for fights. I really wanted to see that fight. I was looking for.
Yeah, that's it is what it. I mean, also when you go into there, it'll tell you that they've been pulled. So that's nice.
And if you see. When you scroll down on the left side of all the fighters, you see at the very bottom it has all the postponed. So they're still there, so they're not like hiding. So you understand that their fights have been postponed.
So who you want to go with, man? I mean,
well, I am surprised after last week that Rosenstruck is not a little bit less of a dog. I believe that, the fighter he's going against has a better reach. He's got a better record. I believe he's undefeated, right? Yeah, 7-0 versus 11-1. They both won last time. Leg reach is pretty close. The only difference really is that one of the guys is going to want to try to do some, some groundwork possibly, maybe some against the wall, tough guy type stuff, dirty boxing maybe inside. But I like Biggie Boy, man. I just don't think he should be that. The guy's got a 9% chance to go to decision. Okay. That means he either knocks you the fuck out, excuse my language, or he's going to lose by something. But after last week, I wonder if the guys in Vegas or the computers in Vegas were sleeping over that headline and match last week and just didn't even see what happened, because I could see it happening again tonight, and I would bet on it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the dog Rosenstruck, and he's a huge dog inside of DraftKings as well. So I'm going to click on that little green plus sign, and what it's going to do is it's going to take Rosenstruck over and move him over to my fantasy lineup for this card. So I'm going to have him be my top dog. I think, if you take a salary fighter that's around the 7,000s to 7,500 range, and he can beat that $8,500 to $9,000. I mean, you got a good possibility to win. I mean, that's just he's going to get some points. I believe. Who else do I like here?
Yeah, he's all the way down at the bottom. What the fuck? I didn't even see him. I thought he'd be like the second fighter on here, because the guy he's fighting is actually the first choice.
Right. I think on your phone what they do is they show the highest favorite, and then the dogs go on the bottom. So if you got the highest favorite, whoever they're fighting is going to be the biggest dog, right? So they're going to be down at the bottom. So that's
I know who I want then. Kevin Kroom. Let's go. Knock out that fucking bum, Alex Caceres or whatever.
So you want to go against Bruce Leroy?
I hate that dude, man.
Oh,
I mean, now everybody needs to understand that it's just all entertainment, okay? Like, right. I really actually don't like him in real life, but this is entertainment. It's like not liking a character on The Walking Dead. Like, I couldn't stand Lori, okay? Like, I respect her as an actress, obviously. Him as an athlete, sure, but fuck him.
Right. So let's talk about this fight real quick, because this is a great discussion, because I like Bruce Leroy. I like him a lot.
Why?
I like the fact he's entertaining. I love him. I like the fact he does some cool kicks at times. He's not a huge favorite, but he's a favorite here. So let's look and see if we got any immeasurables here. I'm going to look at Kevin Kroom's. I'm going to look at who he's fought. Okay, I'm going to look and see if I can find any names to see what he's done. He's got 6 wins by knockout. He's got 10 wins by submission.
Yeah, he's 21-12.
He won in September of last year. He won that by submission. So he does do submitting. Looks like his only UFC fight. That was on a fight night, UFC fight night back in September of last year. So let's see. So that's been his thing. So he got one submission in. That doesn't impress me too much, although, everybody in the UFC is a good fighter. It's great fighters. They're all the best, with the exception of a few. So that's my belief, at least. Let's see, Alex Caceres. Let's look and see what he's on a 3-fight win streak, three wins by knockout. That's not much. He's not a huge hitter. He does have 6 wins by submission. Okay, so his last win was by submission. And then he won a decision against Hooper back in June of 2020. So I mean, he looks to go the distance, and who's going to get the submission off on the other guy? The other thing is they're very much alike in their height and weight, and that's one of my. There's 2 things I've found when doing this. When you're doing your fantasy teams you're putting together for MMA, one is if the fighter is longer taller, longer reach, and he's a wrestler going against a puncher, you've got usually a really good chance of them winning because they'll smother them. I mean, I've seen too many fights where I've won with that particular match because, I mean, they were even. The only difference was one was a wrestler that was long and lanky, and they got him on the ground, and the other person couldn't get up because those long bodies, once they start boa constricting around you, you're screwed. And that's one. Number two that I've noticed a lot, especially this last year in MMA, and not unlike most sports. Okay, MMA, you can be a veteran and you may not have the greatest record, right? Like in boxing, I grew up watching boxing, and if you're undefeated, you're the best, right? And in UFC, that's not going to happen because there's too many ways for you to lose. You can get choked, you can get kicked, you can get punched. There's all kinds of things that can happen. So people don't stay undefeated. You just don't see it much. And so you can have somebody that's got they've lost 10 times, and when they go up against somebody young, that they've got so much experience that experience beats the youth. Yeah. And maybe somebody's got maybe a little bit more stamina. I mean, I've seen it with some great fights this year where the older vet that you thought, okay, this is going to be one of those fights where the older vet's going to get his butt kicked or she's going to get her butt kicked. But it's like, because if you do it right, you can use that experience. Don't get excited if you get a good shot in right off the bat. The young kids do that. They get a big shot in, and then they want to knock the guy out, which I get it. But if you don't knock them out, you're going to get tired, and you're all excited because you're just getting used to this MMA thing and the UFC, one of the highest levels of performance mixed martial arts like that. And the vet comes out in that last round and takes him out, or into the second round. I've seen it, and so you got to watch for those because those will make you some money too. They will. They've backed me up right. That theory has really worked well for me in this last year and a year and a half.
And that's kind of where I am with it too. Like if a guy's got he's got too many X factors going on, you don't want to bet against him. Exactly what you're saying. So I definitely hear what you're saying. That's when I would bet against like if you don't have any with Curtis Blades. That the exception was he often gets knocked out by guys like that. Nagano did it twice, and people say, "Oh, often." Well, that's a lot. That's pretty goddamn often. When he's losing, Nagano's knocking him out, or Derek Lewis. Right. So that X factor right there. Although he's a great wrestler, I was like, oh, he could just smother Derek Lewis and stuff like that. Well, but Derek Lewis doesn't stay on the ground. You cannot really keep him there. I think Daniel Cormier was the most successful with keeping him on the ground, and he didn't. Right. He kept him there, but like he didn't get to do much. He just kept him there. So you're not going to ground and pound Derek Lewis. Mm-hmm. But the only that I would have bet Curtis Blades, easily in that fight, which it was easy for him until it wasn't. But I that's why I go with the knockout artist because. It takes quite a bit of X factors for you to just outright say, no, this guy can't really knock him out. And honestly, that's why Curtis Blades is so stupid because there's no way he should have actually lost, stay away from him. And if you get him down, or get him down.
What was his reach? Wasn't his reach like 4 inches or 4-inch reach advantage or something like that?
For Curtis Blades?
Yeah. Didn't he have a reach advantage?
Possibly.
I thought he had a sick one. Let me look that up real quick because I'm pretty sure, if I remember right, it was actually one of those ones where you look at it and go, ooh, and again, that's a factor that you got to weigh in if they're going to use their. Let me see. I'm just going to look that up because it's one of them things where all he had to do is just jab, and that's like let me see.
Yeah, I just picked the second lineup. I just went through and did some stuff.
Cool,
it's free. Who cares, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's absolutely right.
I damn sure don't care. I know I don't give
a
damn.
We'll see. I think Bruce Leroy will pull it out. You're gonna take Kroon.
I picked him in the second one. I went back out of there to MMA free 200 player, and then got that.
Sure.
Okay,
so let's see.
For you people out there, you want to make sure. So DraftKings, I don't know if they're still running the promotion, but when they do, they run the promotion where they double your money. You put in $25 and they give you an extra $25 on top. So that's why you can kind of play around the way we're doing. Why not? Is they got free pools where you just pick. Just that's where you really want to cut your teeth. You don't want to jump in there betting $25 on stuff you don't know anything about. Can't stress that enough. As Frankie said, don't bet the house. But you want to watch
learn how they score. Try the free stuff. Maybe throw a quarter down if you really want to have it. But
you're like a literal quarter.
Yeah, so some of the free ones do have an outcome where you win money possibly. So you can actually win some cash. On a free one. So if you really want to go that far, you don't have to put money out for that. You know what? It's not allowing me to see those statistics, and I really wanted to see those statistics on their size difference but it's just wanting to show video now.
So I just went in one. I don't know what the hell happened. I went into one and it said reserve. I probably shouldn't have just done it. I just said, yeah, sure. And I was like, the other stuff looked like they were going to ask me for money. So I just didn't do it at all. Okay. So here's what it says. It says create lineup, enter 2 lineups for whatever. And then it had reserve seats.
Okay. So what reserve is, so here's what reserve is if let's say I'm really busy right now and I don't have time to make my team, but I know I'll have a half hour later on. My wife's telling me to take care of some business. If I click reserve, what it does is if it's like, let's say it's a $3 game, right? If it's a $3 game, it's going to take your $3 and it's going to hold on to your reservation, but you have to go in and make your team before, or it'll go in there as if you have a blank team, which you don't want to do that because you're not going to get in points, obviously. So that's what it is. It's reserving your space in that game so that you don't miss out on being a part of it. Because some of these games go quick. They pop up, and as soon as they have the fighters named with numbers, like their salary numbers, they go quick because people want to be a part of these. And I'll tell you another thing too. And here's just a little note. There are some where people can do multiple, make multiple factions or multiple stables. So, or, pick the fighters, they can do multiple. So I can go in and do one with Bruce Leroy, and then I can do the other one with Kevin Kroom instead, as an example. And you can have there's some of them that are up to 150 multiples. I don't ever play any of those unless it's just a crazy, put $5 down to win $1 million. I may do one of those because there are people that actually will do 150 copies of this one game to have a better chance to win with
bingo. Getting
teams.
Bingo cards, bingo cards.
So what I do is I do the 50-50s and I do the single entries. Single entry means unless you're cheating and have more than one DraftKings account, you only have one team in that game. Right now, I'm sure there are some people that have more than one, DraftKings team. So I hate to think about that because I want to. I want to take them out. But anyways, but you're only supposed to have one single entry in there. That gives you much better odds because you're going against a bunch of people instead of one person with a computer that's, just mapping out by computer all these different teams and loading them up in there. So do that in 50-50s. 50-50s means if you score enough points in the upper 50%, you double your money. That's cool. That's cool. That's the kind of thing I'll do. And you can go head-to-head as well. Head-to-head is really cool. That means just you and one other person, and you get a partial part of your money, and you get your money back plus part of theirs when you win head-to-head. So those are the kind of games I usually play. Yeah. So you see when the Super Bowl is going on, DraftKings is giving away $1 million or whatever. They do those as well. But I did that this year, and I, along with 20 other people, all came in at the same number, and so we only got $17 each for our position because there's just so many people doing it.
Now I was looking at that, and I do like the reserve. It looks pretty good because when you look over, they said you could enter 2 lineups, and I'm looking at a 10-cent one. It said enter 2 lineups for 20 cents. And the great part about that is they already have the lineup set for you. It's all underdogs first, for the first lineup. And then the second lineup is, if you so chose to do it, is, all the top people. So I'm like, yeah, sure. For 20 cents, I don't have to do anything. Great. Right. That's exactly what I want to do. Yeah. Or, you could create your own, but who gives a shit? I don't want to do that.
No, sure. Yeah, no.
Not to start out, you just want to see what it does. I never check my DraftKings results. I mean, I don't win anything. Right. So, won't they tell me if I win a bunch of money? Like, hey, man, you got $1 million sitting over here. You need to come get it.
There is an alarm on your phone that comes up like a little notice, and it'll go, you won so much tonight.
Okay. Absolutely. Well, yeah, I'm a loser. Damn.
Hey, I'm trying to help you here, man.
No, because I'll do the free ones and
stuff.
We
had this discussion over a couple matches. I don't remember which wrestling match it was that we were watching together, but I said, we should maybe do this. And you're like, yeah, let's do this. So, and by the way, how's Sporticus doing?
Pretty good, actually.
Good.
Sporticus is doing great. I mean, we supplement. We do an MMA podcast for the MMA Torch because MMA Torch is still trying to find. We're still trying to build our audience and build things for, so we can put on particular podcasts. This is why we're doing this one right now, because has nothing to do with wrestling for once, because I always have to, if I'm doing something that has something to do with wrestling. But this is a MMA Torch exclusive podcast, and it's the first one we've had in a really long time, and new and original content. I got the blessings from Todd Martin to do so. He definitely high fives this. He stands behind it.
Cool.
We'll have him on the show at some point. I don't think he does much betting, but it'd be great to just have him on the show again. He's been on Sporticus a number of times. So Sporticus is doing great because the Torch is doing great. The numbers are great. Numbers are fine, a little bit better than what they were than what we got there. And that's what we're trying to do.
Well, this is a new thing for us to do. I mean, usually we're watching wrestling or we're talking about things of that nature. So we enjoy discussion, and personally what I'd love to see is this kind of being a first edition, and I'd love to see people that love to do the same thing as we do and get into DraftKings and stuff like that and discuss what maybe have in a couple weeks, if not next week, prior to the big card, because next week's card is going to be sick for UFC. We'll come back next week and we'll do a little bit more homework, and maybe we can get some people to chime in live. Maybe we'll go into Twitch or YouTube or something like that, and if some people respond during the week, we'll do it live and have them chime in on what they think is going to happen as well, because it's a lot of fun when you're discussing it and putting together those teams on DraftKings and stuff. It's a blast. I did last week. I had 2 or 3 people that I was chatting with on my phone. Plus, I had my buddy over, and I got more people coming over today. And next week there'll be more people, and we keep rolling with that. It's a lot of fun. So maybe we can get some of that set up earlier, and maybe later on in the future we'll actually do a watch party, and we'll put ourselves do a watch party watching one of the UFC cards and have a lot of fun with a bunch of people watching together and talking about who made the right choices on DraftKings.
Yeah, I think I might have messed up and joined the $10.
10 cents, not $10, bro.
I know, man. I'm trying. It says enter $10. I'm like, well, can I see first? I don't think I did, actually. Well, we're about to see. I'll tell you guys whether or not I fucked up. I did. I definitely fucked up. Okay. It's fucked up. It said enter $10. I was like, okay, I'm gonna pick a lineup. Nope. I pressed it and $10 are gone. Right. Luckily, I'm at $37.50, so I've wasted $2.50, betting. So that's not much at all. And then the $10 I just fucked up right in front of you. Right. So if you guys remember being in grammar school when they say don't read ahead, don't read ahead. Just relax. Wait till everyone catches up with you. Don't skip ahead to the next page because you'll lose $10 like that. Maybe I didn't lose $10 though. Maybe I didn't lose it. Now I got to go into upcoming events and all this extra stuff. Ooh, man. So how do I? Okay, so help me troubleshoot that. How do I go back into where I just put $10?
Did you pay $10?
Oh yeah, that shit's in there.
I mean, up there. Well, okay, so here's the thing is, up at the top of your setup, you'll have where it says balance. It'll tell you how much you have in the bank that you can spend. And then it's got how much, then you can go to where you have your contests, and it'll tell you how much your contests have that you have coming up, like what matches you have coming up today or whenever the future. Tells you how long before it starts.
9 entries, boy. I got 9 entries in here. I've been doing a lot of work.
Damn, you're busy.
Shit,
I didn't even got my first one done. I'm getting serious here, and you're just like,
okay.
Through these.
So there's the thing. It says MMA Captain 30K. Okay, fine. I said, okay. That's the one I went in for $10.
MMA Captain. So what that one is there are one of the new. It's kind of new to me. It might have been here longer than I remember. But with Captain, what that is you pick one fighter. You pay more for them, but you're paying for one fighter, and you're going to have like double. I think like 1.5 or double the points. Whatever they would normally get, they get double that or 1.5.
Yeah. So I did Rosenstrike. That's what I did.
So and let me tell you why that's good. Let me tell you why that's good. What you want to do is you want your captain, in my opinion, unless you absolutely know somebody's going to win, and if they're the favorite, you want to find someone who's cheaper that you think's going to win and do the upset, because you pay more for that captain. They charge you more. If you look how much the Rosenstruck's arch rival tonight. Look how much he cost if you want to pick him as the captain. That's no joke. It's like $14,000, right? Instead of 9, he's normally
something
9.
Crazy. Yeah, it's something.
Yeah,
crazy.
It's like 14 because if you want to make him the captain, he's favorite. They're going to charge you up the. Yeah, so that's good that you picked the dog as your captain. You want to, if you really feel you got a good dog that's going to like win by knockout, you want to put him as the captain. Guess who I had as the captain? Noise. Guess who I had as the captain last week?
Who?
Lewis,
Derek Lewis.
Yeah. That was.
Yeah, I would have too.
I was doing the shack in my front room,
Yeah. Especially as an underdog. I don't know why he just couldn't. He can't. Whatever. I mean, here's the thing.
That's what
as
I'm saying
an
about
analyst,
tonight's match. I have a feeling that it's going to be the same thing tonight. I just could see it. I could just see it. I do
probably. I mean, like those the fight night cards tend to go the way you think they would,
right.
Like I say, and I'm going to continue to say it, because Curtis Blades was the easy bet if you're just looking at it as an analyst. If you're looking at it as a street person, he's like, nah, he can knock his ass out, So sometimes I take that analyst hat off when I'm making bets, man. Because
you have to, yeah, you can't.
Yeah, and there's no room for an MMA analyst right here. We on some street shit. Rosenstrike's gonna knock his ass out. That's what I'm saying. It's like just like you saying, just like Derek Lewis did last week. This shit's over. Put the money in my hand. If I win $30K, I tell you what, man, I give you $10. How about that? Just for helping me. And see, that's legally binding because everyone will know that, and this is recorded. Frankie, did you record an outro or?
You know what? I'm going to. I want to just basically take some of that music that we'll just start that music up and have it come in and get loud enough to a certain point, and then it'll have a. Yeah, you've been listening to the Fantasy MMA Weekly podcast. Go check out at MMATorch.com and MMA Torch at Twitter. Blah 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 blah, and we'll go through that whole thing.
I wish you had said blah blah blah. I would have actually used that like right now. Because I know we got to wrap it up. So I'm trying to see. Well, I asked. I figured if you had one, since we were going to wrap it up.
So I'm gonna. I just want to ask one question about next week, because I said if we start talking about next week, we'll go. But I'm going to bring up something about next week. So I'm going to say it real quick. I want to see ahead of time, and then we'll talk after we do our homework right before the matches next week.
All right.
The big card is next week. My question is, does Israel Adesanya have anything to worry about next week?
Literally. Yeah, get knocked the fuck out.
Do you think that Jan Blachowicz has a chance? Any
Hell
chance?
Yeah.
You think
because I do not bet against the knockout artist, man. You can't. Izzy isn't quite one. it's weird. I mean, he's not a knockout artist, but he's a great striker, and he can be one, but he isn't. I'm gonna give the knockout artist thing to Jan, so Blachowicz. Right. So,
okay. I was just interested because I love this matchup. I think that it's the right time for Jan Blachowicz to get his shot. That was the last fight he did was amazingly cool. It's glad they're getting him in there to do this. I think that there is a little bit more to worry about than most do, because Israel Adesanya is just so badass. It's hard to
sure.
It's hard
you
to
see what he
picture
did
an
to Robert
image of,
Whittaker.
Yes, I've never seen him look like he was even close to going down, really, right? To me, that's what I never saw it. So it's hard for me to mentally see that image and go, I can see a situation where it happens. But here's the one thing. I don't know a lot about Israel Adesanya's ground game. I don't know how well he is when it comes to, what I've seen him do.
He don't have a great one. There's nothing right home about. That's where we might see something that might surprise us a little bit from Blachowicz. That's the one spot, because he does go for submissions. He has won by submission, and if in a 5-round fight, you're going to have an opportunity to get close and dance that way. Yeah, if Blachowicz if he chases Izzy, he's going to get knocked out, just like Robert Whittaker did. Not that Whittaker was chasing him, but it's going to leave him open. The one thing he cannot do is leave himself open to strikes, because although Izzy might not one punch knockout, he might not have a one-hitter quitter, but he'll get punch drunk very quickly. He'll catch 2 or 3 shots and then a kick and be like, "Oh shit, I'm in trouble," but it's already too late. So, I'm not going to bet against the I'm not going to bet. Who's the underdog in that fight right now?
I'm going to go to Vegas to see what they say. Okay, so give me 1 second.
Yeah, because depending, you might want to bet on the underdog. If Izzy's a serious underdog, bet on Izzy. Bet on a serious underdog.
No, there's no way Israel Adesanya is going to be.
He's moving up. He's moving up, though.
Jan is plus 205, which is that's a pretty big dog.
Okay, well,
Israel's a negative
265.
Negative 265. So you put 100 down.
Yeah.
You got to bet 265 to win 100. So that's,
so put your money on the big dog. Yeah, you're right, man.
I don't. I just that's where, if he's got a shot, I think that's where something just could be like, oh, that was a surprise. Whoa, wait a minute.
I want you to make your pick for that one right now, though, and let's see if it changes next week
after I do more homework.
I want to know just right now, because if you had to pick today, in the next 5 minutes, who would you pick?
If I was going to pick right now, I would pick Israel Adesanya by knockout.
I would go the opposite way to win that money.
Yeah, that's if I was betting right now, that's what I would bet. But as we get close, people talk. I see the demeanors, and that may change, because everything is relative by the day and not by the. What I say now could totally be different next week. Just the stare down could make one guy's mental state change, and then we have a different outcome. So it's just. There's so much mind stuff that goes on here that it's just we got to watch. So I'm looking forward to it, and I hope we get a chance to bring some of the fans and friends of MMA Torch in next week. Either having them type during our live session, questions they may have or what they think is going to happen, or if not, maybe we can put a poll up and ask people, maybe a poll up for today's matches and some of next week's matches, to see what people that are part of the MMA Torch family, what they think is going to happen with some of these matches.
Absolutely. Since we don't have the actual audio clip, now you got to take us home. You got to take us home with whatever you say right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you've listened to the Fantasy MMA Weekly podcast, brought to you by MMA Torch, your independent source for all things MMA. This has been Sean Covington, MMA Torch's own Sean Covington, and I'm the Internet Dungeon Master, Frankie Swaw, saying thank you very much, and we will see you. Actually, I guess I could push that button. Is it still around? Maybe not. But we will see you next week. And, check out MMAtorch.com and fill out some of those polls that we're going to put up. We'd love to see what the MMA Torch family thinks is going to happen with some of these upcoming UFC matches, because the more minds that put them ideas together, sometimes the greater the outcome. So it's always good talking about this kind of stuff. Makes your mind think, So
appreciate you, Frankie.
Hey man, this was great. A lot of fun. Thank you. Yeah. I'm glad we finally got this started.
No problem.